Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, heart pounding, staring at the ceiling, wondering why you feel so utterly lost in a world that's supposed to make sense? Like there's an invisible weight pressing down on your soul, whispering that you're not enough, that you've been fooling yourself all along. I see you there, scrolling through your feed late at night, chasing distractions to numb the ache inside, the one that says, "This isn't the life I was meant for." What if I told you that Carl Jung, the brilliant psychologist who peered into the depths of the human psyche, warned us about specific places that erode our mental health, places we visit every day without realizing they're poisoning our minds? These aren't just physical spots, they're mental and emotional traps that keep us from becoming who we truly are. Stick with me, because by the end of this you'll see your life in a whole new light, and it might just unsettle you enough to change it. If this resonates, hit that subscribe button right now, like the video, and drop a comment below. What's one place in your life that's been draining your soul? Let's uncover these hidden dangers together. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." He believed our minds are like vast, unexplored jungles, filled with shadows and archetypes that shape us. But in our modern rush, we stumble into places that amplify those shadows, turning whispers into screams. Drawing from Jung's ideas on the collective unconscious and individuation, the journey to wholeness, let's explore 5 places you must avoid to protect your mental health. These aren't mere suggestions, they're lifelines to reclaim your inner peace. First, avoid the place of endless comparison, social media's shadow realm. Picture this: you're lounging on your couch after a long day, thumb flicking through Instagram, and suddenly, a wave of inadequacy crashes over you. Everyone else's life looks perfect. Exotic vacations, flawless bodies, unbreakable relationships. But Jung would call this the projection of our own unlived potential onto others. He warned that when we lose ourselves in the collective persona, the mask society forces us to wear, we disconnect from our true self. Think of Nietzsche here, who thundered against the herd mentality in Thus Spoke Zarathustra. He said the masses chase superficial joys, but the overman rises above by embracing solitude and self-creation. Yet, in this digital coliseum, we're all gladiators fighting for likes, unknowingly feeding our insecurities. An unexpected twist: studies show that just 30 minutes on social media spikes cortisol levels, the stress hormone, mimicking the fight-or-flight response of our ancestors facing predators. But the predator is us, our own envy. I remember a friend, let's call her Sarah. She was a talented artist, but scrolling through art accounts left her paralyzed, convinced her work was worthless. It wasn't until she quit cold turkey for a month that her creativity flowed again. Jung might say she integrated her shadow, the dark side of doubt, by stepping out of that realm. Ask yourself, how many hours do you waste there, comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel? It's not connection, it's a mental prison. Escape it and watch your self-worth bloom. Second, steer clear of the place of toxic obligations, the family dinner table that suffocates. A family, the cradle of love, or so we're told. But Jung delved into how familial archetypes, like the overbearing parent or the sibling rival, can trap us in unconscious patterns. He called it the persona complex, where we play roles assigned at birth, sacrificing our individuality. Plato's allegory of the cave comes to mind: prisoners chained, watching shadows on the wall, mistaking them for reality. Your family gatherings might be that cave, where old grudges and expectations flicker like illusions, keeping you from the sunlight of truth. Machiavelli, in The Prince, advised ruthless pragmatism in power dynamics, but applied here, it means recognizing when love turns manipulative. Uncomfortable truth: sometimes the people who raised you are the ones holding you back, not out of malice, but because their unresolved traumas echo in you. Consider Bonhoeffer, the theologian who resisted Nazi conformity in his family and society, writing in Life Together about authentic community versus forced unity. He warned that idealizing family leads to disillusionment. In my own life, I once dreaded holiday dinners, where passive-aggressive comments chipped away at my confidence. It felt like emotional quicksand. The twist? Setting boundaries isn't betrayal, it's liberation. Jung urged confronting these archetypes head-on. If your family table feels like a battlefield, create distance. Your mental health isn't negotiable. Third, evade the place of hollow ambition, the corporate ladder to nowhere. You grind away at a job that pays the bills but starves your spirit, climbing rungs that lead to, what? Emptiness? Jung spoke of the midlife crisis as the soul's rebellion against the life unlived, where we chase success defined by others, ignoring our inner calling. Echoing this, Nietzsche's concept of eternal recurrence asks, would you relive this life forever? If your workday makes you shudder at the thought, you're in trouble. He railed against slave morality, living for approval rather than power over oneself. Historically, think of the Industrial Revolution's factories, where workers became cogs, much like today's open-plan offices buzzing with burnout. Vivid analogy, it's like Sisyphus from Camus' myth, pushing a boulder uphill only for it to roll back, endless toil without meaning. Unexpected twist. Research from Gallup shows 85% of employees are disengaged or unhappy at work, yet we stay for the illusion of security. I once knew a lawyer, driven and successful, who collapsed from anxiety attacks. Quitting to teach yoga wasn't downfall, it was rebirth. Jung would applaud integrating the anima/animus, balancing drive with soul. If your career feels like a gilded cage, plot your escape. True wealth is mental freedom. Fourth, shun the place of repressed emotions, the silent bedroom of solitude. Alone at night, thoughts swirling like a storm, but you push them down, pretending everything's fine. Jung's shadow work is key here, the parts of ourselves we deny, like anger or vulnerability, that fester in isolation. Machiavelli might seem cold, but in his letters he revealed a deeply introspective side, warning that unchecked inner turmoil leads to ruin. Plato's Republic divides the soul into reason, spirit, and appetite. Imbalance breeds chaos. Story time. Imagine a king in ancient Greece, outwardly composed, but haunted by nightmares of his conquests. That's you, burying feelings under Netflix binges. Twist that challenges norms. Society praises toughing it out, but psychologists now link repressed emotions to chronic illnesses like depression. Bonhoeffer, facing execution, journaled his fears in letters and papers from prison, finding God in vulnerability. In my experience, journaling in that quiet bedroom transformed my anxiety into insight. Jung insisted, befriend your shadow or it controls you. Turn solitude into a sanctuary for self-confrontation, not avoidance. Finally, beware the place of false harmony, the echo chamber of like-minded friends. Your circle nods along to every opinion, reinforcing biases, but deep down, growth stalls. Jung warned of the collective unconscious pulling us into tribalism, where we lose individuation in groupthink. Nietzsche despised this in Beyond Good and Evil, calling it the tyranny of the majority, comfortable but soul-crushing. Historical context. Think of Socrates executed for challenging Athens' echo chamber, as Plato recounts in the Apology. He drank hemlock rather than conform. Analogy. It's like a mirror hall, reflections everywhere but no real depth. Unsettling truth. Diverse friendships boost resilience per Harvard studies, yet we cling to sameness out of fear. I once surrounded myself with yes men, only to realize my ideas atrophied. Breaking out meant uncomfortable debates, but it sharpened my mind. Jung's synchronicity suggests meaningful coincidences arise from friction. Diversify your circle or risk mental stagnation. As we wrap this journey, remember Jung's words, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. These 5 places, the comparison pit, toxic family ties, hollow ambitions, repressed solitude, and echo chambers, are not inevitable. They're choices. By avoiding them, you embark on individuation, weaving your unique thread into life's tapestry. But here's the lingering question. What if the real danger isn't out there but the unwillingness to face it within? Let that echo as you step forward. Thank you for watching. Reflect, act, and thrive.